is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bottom. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yes, so yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now. Good afternoon all. Thank you very much for coming and joining myself. No Nikki today, sorry, she's busy. We had loads of people over last night and she's rushed off her feet, getting tidied up. So I've got my other lady joining me, Mark. So anyway, thanks for coming over and joining myself and Mark. Thank you, Mark, for helping me out today. I really do appreciate you jumping in, mate. So like I said on the description, it's something quick and easy today. I haven't done a bowl for a few weeks now, so I thought I'd just knock a bowl out. And it's actually the last piece of this manky wood I got from English Woods with a bit of worm in it. So we're just going to knock it out. I might chuck a bit of colour on it, depends what it looks like when we get it done. But I've got it in the lathe at the moment, so I'll just chuck you over to the lathe and we'll have a quick look at it. So let's go for that one. So the measurements are, have a quick measure up. Measurements are, it is just over 9 inches across by 3 3/4 inches deep. Couldn't tell you what it is, nothing written on it, so I don't know what it is. But like I say, there's a little tiny crack in there, which obviously will turn out when we turn the bottom, and there's another one coming across there. So like I said, we'll get rid of it. If I don't like it, if it looks absolutely atrocious, then it will burn really well with the sand and sealer on it. So while I get this started, Mark will welcome you all in.
Right, so I'm going to go back from where I started when I joined YouTube here. So we've got Wood Wizardry by Colin, Chris Dodds, Lawrence Bacaja, Joe Senior popped in quickly. She's visiting her mum.
Hi, Joe.
And Doug Miller, Brent B. Croft, Terry Bartlett, Eric Winkler, Bill, Trevor Reed, Ruby Clark. Good afternoon, Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
And TJ Turning. Hi, Terry. David J. Heath, Don McKee, Douglas Mungham, Barry's Woodcation, Paul Houghton, Grisby Turner, Welcome along. Thanks for joining, Steve. I would cut up some carrots, but I don't have any.
So as always, guys, if any questions, please put a Q in so Mark knows that it's a question. I doubt there will be because you guys have all seen it before. So I'm just going to round this off, just get it a bit better shape.
And where's Nicky? He's very busy.
Where's Nicky? Yeah, Nick's busy, unfortunately. We had a because it was Nick's birthday on Friday, and we went out on the Friday night, and then we had a few friends round last night for a well, Nick calls it a firework party, but it's more of a drink up. So
Oh,
so at the moment we had a we tidied up this morning, and she's just tidying the house up. So she's a little bit busy. So I'm just going to shape this.
Steve,
Yes,
Ruby says my voice is echoing.
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 Echoing, is it? Okay. Hang on. Yeah, I think I might know why. Hang on. Just going to bring you back on for a second. Shouldn't be. Does anybody else say it's echoing, or was it just Ruby? No, she hasn't got a hangover. No, she's fine. She hasn't got a hangover. No, I've only got one feed for you in.
Don't know.
No, I don't know. Does anybody else say that? Is Mark echoing? Anybody else? There's only
Or do I
one
just
order.
simple as I always do? Is it just yeah? It could be. It could be that Mark's on a just like a what do you call headphones, like a phone call set of headphones. That Yeah.
might be through there. That might be because of that. Mark sounds like his head is down. Yeah, is a yeah. No, that's because of the headset. He's not on his proper headset because I sort of dropped it on Mark and he ain't got his proper headset with him. So, question: what is the preferred wood for making a baking spoon and usable stuff? Oh, Mark, you might be able to help with that one.
What's the question?
Question from Bailey Woodworks: is there a preferred wood for making baking spoons and usable stuff?
Beech is one of the most preferred.
So I'm just using a 1/2 inch bowl gouge just to get a lot of this off.
Bit harder to get maple.
Don't taste very nice.
Steve, there's a question from Rex.
Yep.
With each slice of the half-inch bowl gouge, how much wood are you taking off? An eighth?
Well, on some of them, I was taking some big cuts, so nearly a ½ inch on some passes, but usually about an eighth. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of tear out in this. So I'm going to try and go the other way, so we can get rid of a bit of that tear out.
Then jamming thing.
Right, Ben, how you doing?
Ben has soft-boiled eggs.
Ooh.
He's
Suppose
just up with us.
it's better than the McDonald's he normally comes in with on a Sunday. Very dusty upwards.
Rex says, thank you, Steve,
You're welcome, Rex.
for doing these great videos. He learns a lot.
Oh, well, glad it helps. It's don't get me wrong, I'm no professional, but we can all learn from each other. I always say. I mean, nobody knows everything. Right, so let's find a centre. I'm going to put a mortise in the bottom of this.
You're going with the mortars. I thought you were going with the tenant.
No, I'm going for a mortise because I might, if it turns out not very nice, which I don't think it's going to, because there's a very pucky and wormy there. I may reuse this for practicing colours and that on. So if I put a mortise on it, then I can reuse it, can't I? So
You can reuse it with a tenant just as easily.
yeah, I could, but then I suppose I could, yeah, because I don't turn the tenon off, do I? But
Good
I'll
try,
do
mate.
I'll do a mortise. I'll cheat. All right, so about 5 mil deep. Don't like that bit of wood.
Norman,
Sorry.
Norman Greenwell has joined.
Oh, good. Well, afternoon, sir.
And Adrian Olsen has joined as well.
Hello, welcome. So I'm just putting a little bit of a chamfer on the mortise, so the jaws just open up into it, so we're not just holding on the front edge. A couple of little. Just give it a bit of character. Right, so let's get that sanded up. I'm going to sand from 80 grit because there's a little bit of tear out in there, because that's not the best bit of wood. But, whoops. But I may chuck some colour on it actually. See if we can cover some of that manky wood up. We can camouflage it.
Ruby's saying that she's well into the Tyrol Mountains in Austria at the moment.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Austria, that's one place I'd like to go, Austria.
Been one.
Yeah, very much so. So I'm using the Simon Hope inertia sander.
Mark Stroughton's just joined.
Hi Mark, how you doing?
Douglas Mungham says, without you great turners, we would be making mistakes and packing it in.
Ah,
The price we're given is
thank you, sir. We all make mistakes. That's part of learning, I believe, isn't it? Making mistakes.
Jennifer's asking, what wood is it, please, Steve?
Yeah, good question. I ain't got a clue. I don't know what it is, Jennifer. I bought 4 pieces from English Woods, and when I got them, they all had worm in them, but none of them. I'm not 100% what they were when I bought them. But like I say, it's a pretty piece of wood. I'll give them that. But it's just a shame about the worm in it.
Could be a bit of chestnut.
Yeah, could be. It's a pretty bit of wood. It's just a shame about the worm in it.
I don't think it's beech because it's too dark for beech.
No, I don't think it's beech.
Terry says it looks like olive ash.
Possible. Like I say, I don't know what it is. I'm not 100% sure what it is.
Nick Castle's just joined.
Hi, Nick. How you doing, sir? Welcome. I'm just going to sand this up to 400 because I'm going to chuck some colour over it. And then we'll leave the inside natural. So this is 320. Oops. Last one 400.
Ruby says that maybe the wood is sycamore.
Yeah, like I said, I ain't got a clue what it is. I mean,
Right.
you guys who deal with it, you guys who have been turning a long time may know more than I do. That's for sure. But it's definitely a pretty piece. It's just a shame about this bit here. But it's got some nice pattern in it. Just clean the inside of this out a little bit. So that'll do. So just going to blow out all the mess out of them wormholes. So, extraction.
Got 50, Steve.
Sorry?
56 watching.
Oh, thank you very much, everybody, for coming over and joining. Sorry, Nick's not here. I know that's what you all come over for. So, right. So, I think I'm going to sand and seal that first because I'm going to put an aerosol over it first. I might put a nice vibrant colour underneath it and then go with some crackle black over the top of it. That might be quite cool. Oops. I don't spill the sand and sealer everywhere.
John Mooney has joined. Hi, John.
Hi, John. Just make sure we soak in there. So I might do red and yellow aerosol over the top. Sand and sealer's just run out. And then do the crackle black over the top of it to so the yellow and red will pair through the black crackle. Seems the wood's not very nice, we might as well make use of it. Just make sure we get plenty of sand and sealer over the wormhole, so if they're still in there they itch. Making sure I seal it well. So obviously if we was putting stain over the top, like the Hampshire Sheen Intrinsics or something, then we wouldn't sand and seal first because it's obviously a stain, so we want it to soak into our wood. But because we're going to put an aerosol over it, we don't want it to soak into the. We want it to obviously sit on top of it. So hence why we're sand and sealing it. Right. So put that back over there. So just quickly burnish that off a little bit with some sawdust shavings, shall I say, just to dry the sand and sealer. Oops.
Ruby said the wood doesn't look too bad.
Say again, sorry, Mark.
Ruby says the wood doesn't look too bad.
No, it's just that one piece there, Ruby, where there's a bit of, sort of worm all in that little area there. So hopefully if we can colour it, we can disguise that, which would be nice.
Hi, Valerie.
Hi, Valerie and Wayne, how you doing? Hope you're both well. Right, so that's standing sealed now. So like I say, I'm going to use yellow and red. What I've got here is I've got some Halford's spray paint. So it's enamel red and enamel yellow. Well, it's called workshop red, the red is, and the yellow is called machine yellow. So I'm just going to scatter it about, or I could do it. So, sorry?
Question X.
What's that?
Do you plan, like make a diagram on what you make for your more artistic work? If so, would that make a good instructional video?
I do. If I'm doing specific bits, like when I did the Love Heart Bowl, when I did the cauldron, I just do quick sketches of what rough shape I want it to look like. Not how I'm going to do it, just the rough shape I'm looking for. So I don't know how. I know Mark's an artist, so he perhaps does it a bit more precise. I do apologise, Valerie. I thought that was Bigfoot, Wayne, New Zealand. Right, so let's get this touched up. Just get spray paint. Yeah, Mark, I dropped it on Mark about an hour ago. Asked him if he'd earworm for me because Nick was too busy. So we do apologise, but like I say, Mark's just got me out of the doo-doo really. So right, so I think I'm gonna do. No, I'm gonna do like Go on, sorry, Mark.
I said I'm only using my cheap phone headset, not my usual one.
Right, so do I do red at the bottom and fade it into yellow, or do I do just colour blotches? What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Mark? Do fade.
Yeah.
Right, so bringing the red up to about there. No, actually, let's put the yellow on first. We're going to fade. Lightest colour first. Let's shake this one up.
Hey, they're good to the element doing, Steve. Been nasty for me.
No. Who else has lost? Who else has lost sound? William Rose created a meal, just lost sound. Still got sound. Still got Mark bouncing on the sound, so we should be fine. Terry said fade it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fade it. So I'm going to cover the whole piece in yellow first then. Turn it down low, extraction on. Let's get the hot eye again. Just dry it off a little bit with the hot air gun.
Brian can work with the joint. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian. How you doing?
He says his sound's okay, and he lives in a third world country, apparently. Just say one thing, one time. They never let you forget it. Leaping Lima Craftworks has joined.
Good evening, or good morning, shall I say. Just try it a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to put a couple of light coats over this. I'm just going to gently dry it. I want quite a vibrant yellow in this area here, so that when that crackles through, we really do see the yellow and red come through it. And hopefully, it might look a bit like a lava look with the red and yellow. Still a little bit tacky. Don't want to dry it too quick because that'll blister, so I'm trying to keep the hot air gun away from it just enough to dry it.
That actually looks quite pretty just as it is.
Just yellow. Phenomenal.
Yellow.
Mellow yellow.
Phenomenal.
Right, All right, just a little bit more up here, just to make this yellow a bit more vibrant. Make sure you shank your cam well.
Oh, here you go. Slacker's in. Hello, Slacker. Hi, Nicky.
Who's that? Nick.
Nicky, yeah.
Bless her. She's busy, bless her.
Really doesn't it, though, Steve?
Hey?
Just shows what our priorities are, you know. I dropped what I was doing at a moment's notice, leapt to your aid. Oh, dear.
She could bring me a coffee if she's that busy, couldn't she?
Good, good. Aren't you should probably spit in it now.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark, for that.
Good. Enjoy that.
So this is where you should cover your chuck up. Look, it's covered in paint now. Right, so that's the yellow. So now a bit of red. Just make sure to shake the cam well. So I'm going to bring that in from just below halfway, I think. Going to aim the can that way. So we should get the speckle bits on this edge here.
Nicky says she can't get out, the floors are wet.
Oh, poor excuse. Got a back door. Got patio doors.
Everyone's hoping that she had a nice birthday.
Yeah, she did. Well, I think she did. Well, I had a good birthday.
Nice to be able to enjoy birthdays when you're over 60.
Ooh, Mark. You're pushing your luck, son.
Joe's going to kill me next week anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right, so just...
Nicky says she can't come out, she has no shoes on.
Oh, she's such a... Didn't stop her earlier when she had a, whatever you call them, crooks on.
And Terry's asking, what was the burger bar like, Steve?
Yeah, it was nice. It was, yeah, they do nice stuff like pasta and all that sort of stuff. But it's not the sort of place if you want to go for a nice, quiet, romantic meal. It's sort of a young person's restaurant, you know, where they do a lot of burgers. They do steak, obviously, and I had ribs, which was very nice. Not a bad price, 16 quid for a rack of ribs, so it wasn't expensive. It was very nice, well cooked, plenty of it. I mean, you can't complain about the meal sizes. The plate was about 12 inches across, and it was absolutely ram-pack of chips, salad, and ribs. It was a massive meal, but it was really nice. But like I said, if you want just to go for a nice romantic meal with your partner, then it's not really the place to go. But it's, I mean, I'd go again. I definitely would go again. I think my ribs were about 16 quid, so not mega expensive.
So basically a young person's place, not somewhere where you and Nicky should go.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say young person. Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to go out just for a quick meal or a cost-effective meal, knowing I was going to get good food, good quality food, a good quantity of the food, then I'd go there. But if I want to go out for a nice, quiet meal, then that's not the place I'd go. But I'm not over the hill yet, Beckett. Right, so there we go. Yellow and red blended in. So I'm just going to dry it off a little bit more, because really you should leave it about 45 minutes to an hour really before you put the crackle over it. But obviously we don't be waiting that long, so I'm just going to dry it off a little bit more with a heat gun. Now with the crackle effect paint, it doesn't matter whether it's a matte paint, a gloss paint. I've not tried acrylics, so I wouldn't know whether you can do acrylics underneath it. But basically, as long as you've got your colours you want underneath it, then when they put the crackle paint over it, it should start coming through.
With this crackle paint, Steve, is it the paint underneath that makes it crackle, or is it
No, it's the
paint?
top. It's the top coat you put over the top as the crackle paint. This is just normal,
That's just
normal spray paint, yeah.
oh, okay.
So you can use any spray paint as your base. I've used all different colours. I've used yellows, blues, reds, oranges. You know, you name it, you can do it. I've even tried it with a metallic. You can't, even though the paint is like a metallic paint putting on it, you can't really see it once the crackle's on it. But colours like this, the idea is that obviously that cracks, then it should shine through.
Okay.
So like I say, normally I'd leave that about 45 minutes, but because we're on a live, I've heated it. Normally I wouldn't dry it with the hot air gun either. I just leave it to dry natural. So
Says, Steve, if you use an acrylic paint, it dries quickly and works well.
yeah, but I don't know how the crackle paint works with acrylic. I will have to try it, but it's worth a try. So this is the crackle paint. Comes from Krafts City. Is it called Krafts City? Yeah, I think so, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get it in several different colours. I've got black, green, grey, brown, and blue. So I mean, these last forever. I've done. Well, I hate to think how many bowls I've done with these. So what you want is a nice, well-shaken tin, warmed up, not stone cold. Because obviously if it's cold, you'll lose pressure in the can. Won't be so high. So you want a normal room temperature can. And what you're looking for is a nice even spray coats over the top. You can do it so it's rotating, but I always try and do it so my piece is laying flat, so I can get a nice even coat over it. And once you put your first coat over it, try not to go back over it again, because once obviously you've put your first coat, it's going to start to crack straight away. So you really want to be one coat and leaving it. I'm going to make sure I shake this well. All right, so shake. Right,
Steve,
what?
is your camera in focus?
Or does it look out of focus?
Yeah.
Let me just refocus it back in. It's because I've moved it and I've taken it off the. It's focused on the chuck. Does that look better? Right. So.
Crackle works well with acrylic. She's used it.
Oh right. Okay. Oh right. It's good to know. Right. So one even coat. Slow but steady. Because of the shape, it's not really covering very well. So we're just going to leave that to do its thing. Now normally if you leave it a little bit longer, it will crackle quite well, but we'll see how this crackles. The only thing I will say is make sure you're doing a well ventilated area because it stinks.
Oh, you can see it starting to come through now.
Yeah. Should be able to see the reds and the yellow starting to come through. Just trying to dry it off with the air gun a little bit. Where the soft grain there has not happened very well, but the fly likes it anyway.
Fly's probably high as a kite.
Yeah. Well, man. Just give it a couple of minutes to dry off a little bit. Just remember when you're doing a hot air gun not to get too close because you will blister it if you hold it in one place. And because the base coats of the actual paint are still going to be tacky because obviously we've only flashed the top off really. So ideally, you really need to now leave it like 24 hours before we did anything else on it. But we're not going to. Still a bit green on the top there. All right, so let's have a look at that. Back cam. So there's the crackle effect.
That's wicked.
So you can see the yellow's gone into where the yellow and red blended. It's sort of gone into an orangey colour. Then the red on there, and then obviously where the yellow's not dry. Normally, if I was doing it non-live, I'd have put the yellow over, let it dry, then I put the red over the top, let it dry, then I would have gone with the crackle. But because the yellow and the red wasn't quite dry, you can see that the red and yellow are separated there to give you that nice effect in the bottom there. So still a little bit tacky, but
A couple of people are asking, are you going to do the chuck as well?
yeah, no, I should be cleaning the chuck. I can't live with it like that. That'd drive me wacko. So what we'll do is just get that in the chuck, and I'll just get a little bit more heat on that, just to dry it off a bit better before we start tanning it. But you can see the effect that you can get with it. I mean, you can get some really cool effects with it. And again, it's your imagination, whatever colours you want. You see where the grain's soft, it's not really, the crackle effect has not really worked. That'd be quite cool to have a chuck looking like that, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? That's dry now. Yeah, so there you go, yellow and red. So it's bringing that in there, making it look a bit orangey. So many different, with the crackle effect, so many different patterns and whatever you can do. It does turn really nice. I do like it. Right, so let's turn this out. So I'm going to leave the middle natural.
Change camera, but
Is that clear? No, it's a bit fuzzy, isn't it?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That's better.
That's better.
So we'll.
Ben says the witch in the background is impressed. Can't close her mouth. She's so gobsmacked.
Yeah. She's amazed. So do that one. There you go. Right, so let's get some of this middle hogged out. Gonna flatten out first because it's a little bit uneven. Bit unbalanced out there, Wood. Very dusty. Whatever it
Right.
is.
Ruining the go. See you later, Barry.
See you later, Barry. Let's have a look at that. It's very hard in the middle there. Very hard. There's a big old knot in there, that's why not. Oh no, there's not.
You're absolutely right, Ben. When you do get as old as they are, the cold really starts to affect you. The last I
You're not digging about Brian's heater again, are you?
Brian's going on about it, yeah. Just thinking, Steve, you're overhanging quite a bit there.
Yeah, it's a bit bouncy. I'm going to clean the bottom of that out with a scraper, actually. Actually, quite not too bad, actually. Just move that round a bit. Let's do one more light pass in there. With this.
Hi, Pete.
Is that Pete from Twisted Trees?
Pete from Twisted Trees.
Hi, Pete, how you doing, mate? Right, so I'm just going to run the negatives across negative rake scraper over that.
John. Hi, John.
Just to clean that bottom up a little bit.
Steve,
Yes.
what angles do you run your negative rake scraper at?
I've got written on here 55 and 30. So I think
Okay.
55. If I can't remember which one's 55. I think that's 55. The top, no, I can't remember. I think the top one's 55, and the bottom one's 30. As long as you don't go over 90 degrees, innit?
Yeah.
As long as it's below 90 degrees, it doesn't really matter what combination you have. Right, so that's a nice curve in there now, fairly equal all the way through. So I'm just going to sand that. I'm going to use the drill to sand that, if I can find it. Use it in one part of the workshop, don't put it back. So we've got a little bit of tear out using the scraper. So we'll start with 80 grit up to 240, and we'll sand and seal it. So get the extraction on.
Can you use Yorkshire grit?
Oh yeah, I think I might use Yorkshire grit. Keep the boss happy. So 80, 120. So 120, 180. Final one.
Colin's asking, what sanding discs do you use?
These discs are the ones from Martin.
They're the Indasa ones, aren't they?
That's the one. Yeah, yeah. These ones, Adasa. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've had them from Simon Hope as well. He does them as well. So that's 240. Still got a little bit of a tear out in there, so I might just get rid of that. Just go back over that a little bit. And the extraction helps, don't it? What that's like. It's a little bit soft where that worm is. It's a little bit better, just a little bit more. That's better. Just quickly run that back up through the grits. Do 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 do. 180. The final one, 240. Right. So that feel better. Still a little bit of tear out in there, but that's where it's a bit soft and pucky. But it's most probably going to get refinished anyway. So blow all the muck out of it. So we'll sand and seal it. Give a good soaking of sand and sealer. Hopefully harden that pucky bit up a little bit. It's a shame about that worm, really, because it's a pretty bit of wood.
Yeah. Pete's asking me a very technical question.
What's that?
Do I chop my carrots into circles, quarters, or matchstick thin bits? What you going for there, Pete? Classic roast would be circles. Nouvelle cuisine, then go for matchsticks. Mark Staunton's got to go. See you later, Mark.
See you later, Mark. Thanks for coming over. Right, so let that dry. Get the Yorkshire grit out, ready. Put them colours back now, ready. Yorkshire grit. Yorkshire grit original.
I was wondering if anyone was going to do this. Doug Miller's asking. That reminds me, what's the sanding sealer debate? What's the great sanding sealer debate 2021 that I survived? Should you dilute it or not?
Yeah, well,
It's,
I personally dilute mine because if not, I think it's too thick. I really do, especially the chestnut one. I just think it's too thick.
we dilute. There are several professional wood turners who dilute and recommend diluting. Funnily enough, the people who manufacture a sanding sealer say don't dilute, even though they produce a dilutant to sell with it. They want you to not dilute it, so you use more of it and buy it more often. Funny that.
So I personally think it's the same principle as if you're going to seal wood. If you was putting an undercoat on a wood, or let's put it, if you was putting a clear varnish on a wood, the first coat the manufacturer recommends you thin down at least 50-50 so that it penetrates into the wood and gives you something to key to.
Yep.
So sand and sealer is the same principle. If you don't thin it and it doesn't penetrate the wood far enough, when you come to polish it, denib it, or whatever, you possibly could take off the layer of sand and sealer you're relying on to seal your piece of wood. So why don't you thin sand and sealer to penetrate deeper into the wood? The deeper it can penetrate into the wood, the better key you're going to get. That's my thinking of it.
Yeah, gives you a better finished product as well.
Exactly, yeah. And I think if you put a lot of people only put one coat of sand and sealer. I think if you put 2 or 3 coats of sand and sealer over, you end up with a better finish because it penetrates into the wood, seals it better. So when you put your wax on, your wax doesn't soak into the wood so far, so you get that better shine.
Gives a more consistent depth of finish.
Exactly, yes. So just use Yorkshire grit, take it up to about 1,000 grit, and then we'll give it a coat. Right, speed up a little bit. Finish it off. Looking for our clean tissue. We know we've got all the wax off. Okay. That worm is awful. Right, so let's get a coat of wax on it. I'm going to be using some Hampshire Sheen High Gloss wax. Don't need loads, just a thin coat. What we want is light pressure just to buff this off. Don't need hardly any pressure. All you want is enough pressure just to hold the tissue against your piece.
Pete says, sometimes I dilute it 50-50, sometimes 50-30, sometimes I use it right out of the pot. I don't like being too predictable. Keep
Keep them guessing, eh, Pete? Keep them guessing. Right, so I think we're there.
a bowl coloured in under an hour. Are you mad?
Is it really under an hour?
Well, since you started turning, yes, 4+2.
Oh, let me go. Right, so there we go. Don't know what wood it is. Couldn't tell you. Bit manky there.
Chestnut.
Sorry, say again, Mark.
Mike Hugh thinks it. No, it's Mike.
Right, okay.
William Rose says he thinks it looks like chestnut.
Okay, well, we don't know what it is, so all guesses are welcome. So basic bowl on the inside, but on the outside, bit of colouring. Turned, sand and sealed, denibbed, coloured with yellow, then some red faded in. Then we left it. Well, you should really leave about 45 minutes to dry, or to flash off, should we say? And then a coat of the crackle effect black over the top of it to give it that snakeskin look. This is where the wood's a bit soft. Obviously, it's soaked into the wood further than what it should do. Normally, it should just be sat on the top, but obviously that bit of rear, that bit of worm is a bit pucky, so that's why it's done that. And then obviously just left au naturel in the middle, so just something to something a bit different, just to show you guys, you know, there's so many different effects out there what you can do. It's a minefield, absolute minefield. So just a quick project today. Like I say, I do apologise Nick's not with us, but you know what women are like. House has got to be tidy so they can sit down and chill out on a Sunday evening. Right, so let's bring Mark back. This one here. So there we go. Like I say, nothing special. Most probably end up returning that off and just practicing with that piece. Some pieces I do, obviously what I do on lives, they're not, like Mark said before, the pieces we do on lives, we do to us, you know, we do to have to do no more about an hour and a half. So not the best quality. So that's why I use a lot of manky wood. Excuse me. But I'll most probably return all that off and use that for practicing different colours. And then once it's done, burn it. So anyway, that's a quick little project today. Thank you very much, for coming over and joining us.
Should the paint have a finish applied over it?
Yeah, what I would do normally, the ones I did for that lady before, has just come and collected them this morning. But what I would normally do, I wouldn't wax over that, because obviously with wax, you're going to get it all in the little crevices. So what I would do with that, I would give that about 6 or 7 coats of clear coat lacquer, just to give it a nice shine. Now with lacquer, you can either have a matte, sheen, or a gloss finish. So the choice is totally yours. I think sometimes with subtle colours like the ones I did, which were yellow. Well, actually, the video that came out Wednesday night was green and black. It was a black base coat with a green crackle over the top of it. Now, with that, I used a high gloss because I wanted it to glow through the thingy. But sometimes with subtle colours, you can get away with like a sheen gloss. I mean, sorry, a sheen lacquer. So it's not massively glossy, but it's enough just to protect the paint. And what I try and do is I try and put enough coats over it so it feels smooth, because obviously as that's crackled, that feels a bit rough. Now some people might like that texture. If that's your thing, then that's great, but I like to see a glass like finish. So what I would do is I'd put enough coats over it so I can cut it back so it's perfectly smooth. So maybe I reckon you get away with about 8 coats on that, so you cut it back so it's actually perfectly smooth, so when you looked at it, it looked like a perfectly flat surface, and to the touch it would be smooth, but obviously the look would be that crackle effect. That's how I would do it anyway. But again, it's just time and depends how much time, and to do 8 or 9 good coats, like you're looking at about 4 days. Obviously a coat in the morning, leave it over the day. If it's a warm workshop, maybe a coat in the evening, and gradually build up those coats with sanding in between them. I reckon you're looking at 3 or 4 days for the time you're uh, ready to polish it all off. And then to polish it, you can either sand it or you can use the Yorkshire grit products to polish it up to a 2000 grit, depending on how much of a shine you want on it. And yes, I did nearly drop it as well. Right, you're right. Oh dear. Can I just say congratulations to Doug? Got 9,000 views, was it, this morning? Well done, Doug. See on Facebook. So well done, sir. Congratulations. Um,
Let's put his link in for his live tomorrow at lunchtime.
Terry, yeah, thank you, Terry. And Brian's on tomorrow night, I believe.
Tomorrow night.
Yep. So I won't have no live next Friday evening because I'm going to be travelling down to Scarborough. May do a pop-up one when I get to the pub if it's not too late. But it's not going to be till 9 o'clock time. So if you're about, guys, then we may just do a pop-up one, say hello, and take the mick out of a few people and say goodbye. They'll all be rat ass by the time I get down there, so that's going to be hilarious. So yeah, this is going to happen. And then obviously we're going to do some pop-up ones through the weekends because we're at Yorkshire Grit HQ. So we'll perhaps do a pop-up one on a Saturday and also maybe one on a Sunday, because I think we're all going to go Sunday morning. I'm going to be leaving just after dinner, maybe 1-2 o'clock time. So I don't know what time the other guys are going to be leaving. So yeah, so because we've all got quite a way to travel home. So there's perhaps be one Sunday as well. But like I say, I've got no permanent live. I've got no live listed for Friday evening and Sunday lunchtime. But I'm trying to get a video up for Sunday lunchtime. Whether I can get it done on time or not, I'm not 100% sure. But if it's there, it'll be there. So that's the plan for next weekend. So anyway, I think we're done, are we, Mark?
I think so.
All right, good. Right, so thank you very much for coming over and joining myself and Mark. Thank you, Mark, for jumping in and saving my backside. We'll see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys. The next time I see you guys, maybe in one of the guys' lives, in someone's chat. But if not, then it will be for the next Battle of the Makers, a week Friday.
19th, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the 19th of this month is the last in this year's series of the Battle of the Makers. But we have a special coming up for you in December. So I'm really looking forward to the next Battle of the Makers because they're neck and neck, and it's like, oh, the drama, the suspense is killing me.
And received a single bribe.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be they're going to be, and I will be honest, some of the questions I think are quite difficult, and I've also chucked in some bonus questions that have got 3 parts to them to really confuse them. So they're going to have to really have their thinking caps on this month. But they need, if they want the title, they got to fight for it. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it's a special treat. This month's chat questions are not drawn from the internet. They are handwritten questions.
So anything can happen. Anything can happen. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the next Battle of the Makers. Anyway, right, so we're going to go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming and joining us. And always, thank you very much for your continuous support. I really do appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week or weekend. Have a great week. And I will see you guys later on somewhere along the YouTube world. So anyway, guys, take care. Speak to you soon and bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
That's all, folks.